Good afternoon. My name is Tamika Fortune, and today I'll be doing my speech over visual aids. And my visual aid that I chose to use today is from an artist named Kendi Wiley. And this is what I want to share with you. I want to share with you his artwork. And while I'm sharing with you, I want you to pay close attention to the subjects that I'll be sharing with you. And again, this is his name, Kendi Wiley. Kendi Wiley is a young African-American artist who's born in Los Angeles. He now resides in New York City. He recently had an exhibit. It's called The New Republic, and it was featured in the Modern Art Museum in Fort Worth, Texas. I did not actually get to go to see the artwork, but a friend of mine shared it with me, and when he shared it with me, that's what drew me into the work. But Kendi, as a young artist, he started at the age of 11, and his mother really supported his dream and put him in an after-school art program. Later on, he ended up going to San Francisco's Art Institute, where he then moved to New York, and now his work is being exhibited around the world. He can be seen several places. His exhibit just left Fort Worth, Texas. So that's just a little bit about him, and what his main thing is that he takes old artwork from the master's artwork, and he repaints it with the African American, mostly male, as the subject matter. And the way he chooses his subjects is that he just goes out in the streets of New York and he looks for everyday people, and he brings them in and he photographs them, and then he paints them into these scenes that are like the old masters. One that I will share with you guys today is this photo. So if you're looking at this photo, and the pose looks very familiar, it is from the time when Napoleon was leading the troops through the Alps, and that was the imperial officer. Well, this photo that I just showed you is called the Officer of Hausers, and as you see, it's an African American male. He's dressed in a wife beater. He's holding a sword. The major difference in this photo is this subject is looking straight at the camera. If you think about African Americans during history, we're often objectified. And so what Kendi seeks to do in his portrait is to bring these photos and make them really lifelike, so they don't really look like photos. If you're looking at it in your hand, if you had one of the books or if you saw it, it would look like an actual picture photo drawn on a tapestry, painted on a tapestry. It looks so real. And what he does is he makes, what he's trying to do is to force African Americans as a subject in the world of art, and making that become a part of history. And that is his goal into doing so. And that's a lot about his work. I'll bring you to what made me choose this as my subject. A friend of mine visited this exhibit and sent me these pictures and said, you should really go. And it was due to some stories that I had shared with him about some of my experiences at work. And the picture that drew me in to Mr. Wiley's work is this photo right here. So if you look at this photo, you see a black woman who is holding another lady's head. And while I want to clarify that the race of the other woman is not important, I do want to share some things with you that made this photograph profound to me, and it is because of my hair. This is my second recording, and I think my hair has probably changed, as it often does, because that's a big part of African American women in our culture. We change our hair a lot. It is a big deal. It's a phenomenon. Chris Rock did a documentary over it, and it is called Good Hair. So if you need a point of reference to black women's hair, that's a great documentary to check out. So during the story, I'm not offended, but I'll bring it to you how it was given. We were having a staff meeting. There were some inappropriate things said about hair. Now, I found it hilarious because sometimes when you encounter things, you know the person didn't mean well, but everything that she said about hair, it just kept going spiraling down, and it was actually hilarious. However, there were others in the room that were offended. Not the people that she was making reference to, but the other co-workers. And their reason for offended was actually because they didn't know. They didn't know how we felt. And so I refer back to these photos, it's because it's the same thing. When you look at history, art history in particular, you don't see a lot of African Americans, and you don't see them painted as subjects, and you only hear a lot about slaves, or so you don't get to know what it's like to be in our culture. And what that meeting did, it was brought us to what I would like to refer to as Hairgate, and it was what I like to say, Hairgate from hell, because it became meetings to discuss our hair, discuss how we feel, which is totally not appropriate for the workplace. So what this did was it just brought it to light for me that in a workplace, we need to all accept all of the cultural differences and be okay with that, and know that everybody has their own place in history, their own place in time, and their own uniqueness. That's what makes the world interesting. If we were all the same, it would be not a fun place to live. And if I wore my hair the same every day, it would not be a fun place for me. So my hair is an expression of who I am and the things that I love. And this is what brought me to use this piece of art that I would love to share with you personally. So just like hair can serve as a difference, culture, art, whatever it is, find those differences about other people and appreciate them. Thank you.